So first things first, I'm the realist. No, that is not what that was supposed to be. Hello, how you doing? How you feeling? My name's Phalafel. So a few months ago, it might have been longer than a few months. Hold on. How long ago was it? When did I make that video? That was exactly 8 months ago. My God. So about 8 months ago, I made a TikTok where I purchased a Moone cosplay, Moone from Genshin Impact, and I wanted to show the process of me kind of flipping it, remaking pieces that maybe were made shoddily or broken, repairing pieces of the costume so that if you are new to cosplay, or if you are an experienced cosplayer but you're purchasing for the first time, you have a couple of tools that you can use to upgrade your costume, right? To give it that zhuzh, you know, the essence, the aura, the glamour, the fashion, the beauty. Well, I did it again, but this time I wanted to make a full YouTube video, come on, long form content, where I show you how I flipped my Ganyu cosplay. I purchased a full Ganyu cosplay minus the wig. I got the wig separately. And I want to show you the kind of tricks and tools I use to fix a lot of these pieces, ranging from altering the fabric so that it fits better, or repairing some attachments or whole pieces themselves that I had to recraft. I want to show you everything that I did to my Ganyu so it can help you with your purchase cosplay experience. So without further ado, because I'm very proud of how I did that intro, let's get into it. I got my cosplay. Hold on, y'all. So to start, I got my cosplay from Easy Cosplay. It was about $120. I got it in a size medium, and I'll put the link below which cosplay exactly I got. It came with a full bodysuit costume, sleeves, horns. It came with Ganyu's little like front bell. That's really cute. I did not get the version that came with the shoes. I ended up making the shoes myself separately from a pair of cheap heels I got off of Amazon. When I was looking through a lot of online options, I kept in mind pricing, reviews. Oh, reviews are so hot, especially if people have reviews with photos. That's really what you're looking for, right? And everything that it had to offer in terms of quality. I mean, taking a really close look at the quality of each cosplay, and I kind of settled on this Easy Cosplay Ganyu costume because I liked the shape of a lot of the pieces. The fabric choices that they used for this cosplay I thought was really nice. I think it's actually quite gorgeous. The bodysuit looked great. Most of the accessories looked really good too. We'll get into, you know, what I thought versus what I bought, you know. But overall, when it came down to all the research I did, I looked at MIC costumes, I looked at pro cosplay, I looked at Cosky. I personally think that this is probably the better quality of Ganyu. And I've never had a bad experience with Easy Cosplays. It's not often that I do purchase a cosplay, to be honest with you. I make about 95% of what I wear. But when I do purchase, I'm looking for quality, and this is not sponsored. This is not a shout out. Easy Cosplay, if you want to work with me, you know, this is, to me, in my opinion, the highest quality cosplay for this character that I've seen so far. So I pressed purchase. It got to me in about 2 weeks time, which was really surprising. I thought it would take way longer to get to me, but it took about 2 weeks. And I'm gonna walk you through kind of what everything looked like when I purchased it. So in the state of cosplay, again, PlayStation, you know, I'll let your girl. Here are a lot of the pieces. The pants, as you're looking at them, were kind of short. The rope that goes around Ganyu's waist, they kind of just provided a rope. Her front fabric panel, if you want to call it that, her kind of like front cape, was physically attached to the bodysuit, which I thought was interesting. The bodysuit and the pants are separate, so it's not all one jumpsuit style bodysuit. It is 2 separate pieces. A lot of the fabric was very frayed, was already kind of unraveling and coming apart in some areas, so it looked kind of fuzzy. But otherwise, the fabric parts were the least of my concern. Let's get into the accessories. So the accessories were, 7 out of 10. For the most part, they were all 3D printed pieces. Horns here were completely fabric and stuffed with cotton, so they were squishy. I'm not a big fan of that. A lot of the 3D printed pieces though came scratched, came chipped, or frankly just kind of falling apart. I mean, here's the vision. That is not me popping off actively. I put the cryovision back in place and then filmed. It came separated. Thank God Easy Cosplay included a glue stick. With the bow, the appliques were just peeling off. They weren't completely secure. They were only stitched in like 2 places on each piece. And then you can see just visible hot glue. And some of the gems weren't even sewn in. They were just kind of glued on top. This is actually a really good costume. A lot of the pieces, the attachments were very clear. Everything fit semi-well. We'll get into that later. If I'm being picky for my fellow crafters out there, 7 out of 10. For anybody who just wants to cosplay and jump in and are intimidated by crafting and you want to purchase, I give this one like an 8.5, almost 9. But that's not what we're here for, right? We're not here for it's well made, so we're good. We're here for it's well made, but let's improve it a little. Give it that, you know, the essence, the aura. So I started here, repairing damaged pieces. A lot of the 3D printed pieces were scratched or chipped, and personally, I'm not a fan of 3D print lines. I hand sanded the bell and one other small accessory piece to get rid of the 3D print lines. I used 2 different types of sandpaper, just a coarse and a fine sandpaper. I started with the coarse to buff out all the lines, and then the fine sandpaper to smooth things out. I used Rust-Oleum gold spray paint over top to repaint it. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the 2. For pieces like the bow, what I use and live by is heat bond. Is it heat bond or heat and bond? Hold on. I knew it. Heat and bond. Basically, it's like an adhesive for fabrics that's activated by heat or an iron. So what I did is I cut out little strips of heat and bond. I connected one side to the bow's applique and ironed it on so that it would stick. And then after applying it there, I pressed it against the fabric of the bow and ironed over it again. I'm using a protective cloth so nothing melts or burns. In general, this is just like a side tip for anything that you're doing. Iron your cosplays. I guarantee everything will look like 10 out of 10, like so much cleaner if you just hit it with the iron a little bit. For her front cape panel bodice thing, I added just fusible interfacing because to me it was very flimsy. There wasn't much structure to that piece. So I just added it right to the back because it's not often that I'm not gonna Marilyn Monroe like flip up with the wind and somebody will see the interfacing, right? It could happen. It could, but it's unlikely. So I just stuck it right on the back of it to give it a little bit more structure. Now here's where I was talking about the fit. When I put on the pants, they did not go past my lower hip. If I wore them regularly, my booty cheek would have peeked out just a little bit, you know. What did Beyonce say? Ass getting thicker. Feet of these pants were completely closed toes. So it was like a little sock at the end, automatically. What I did was just cut out the 2 corners of each sock piece, leaving a strip so that it would turn into kind of like a sandal thong. That helped me at least pull up the pants higher without showing the top of my foot in photos, because for some reason Ganyu's pants go all the way down into her shoe. So that's how I made the pants at least fit easier with minimal cutting and sewing. But thankfully, again, Easy Cosplay, their sizing is very clear on their website, so everything else fit very well. I think they also, for some costumes, do custom sizing, so if you put in your own measurements, they'll make it to that. So that is how I repaired some of the pieces of the cosplay, but there were other pieces that I just felt like I needed to remake entirely. So this is a great time to announce that I make patterns now. If you go onto my Ko-fi page, you can either A, request a type of pattern, you have access to it. If you join the $5 Golden Nugget tier, you get access to any pattern I ever upload, or you can buy them individually. So right now I have 2 patterns up. I have one for Kaya's pauldrons, and the other is for Ganyu's accessories. In this full pattern guide, you will get not only the breakdown of the build, materials that you'll need, notions, tools, instructions of the like, full pattern guide of how to read and put things together, how to cut foam specifically, and then the actual patterns themselves. So we're gonna use this to make the horns. So here are 2 pages from the pattern again. Go to my Ko-fi, the link is in the description if you want to get some of these for your own Ganyu project. You can cut out the horn pieces, trace them onto foam, and once you cut, glue, and paint everything, you got yourself a set of horns. If you're like, hey, Phalafel, I literally just spent $100 on the cosplay itself. I really can't drop more money on the pattern. I got you. Because on my Twitch and on YouTube, I've also uploaded the entire highlight reel of when I made these patterns live on Twitch. So you can follow along to my process. I show a top down of me drawing out each of the patterns and drafting them. You can use that as well as a guide. You know, I'm here for the people. I'm trying to help everybody as much as I can, but if you want to help me, you can click that link below and then boom. It's a step you don't have to worry about. Now the vision pattern is also included in the full Ganyu accessories. In getting ready for this cosplay to be worn at Otakon, I did not have enough time to resin cast a new gem, but I didn't like the size of the vision that it came with. It was very small. I remade my vision to be a little bit larger on the hip, but I still wanted to use their little gem that they added in, and I wanted to make it look like it float. So I grabbed an old plastic lid from a takeout container and I just cut out a square that was the size of the actual vision's frame, and I hot glued it on the back of it, and then I just glued the gem on top so it looked like it was floating in the center. And then I just used a heat gun on the original vision's back to melt the glue so I could detach the pin and the rope from the original vision onto my own. And I just glued it right back on. So boom, which is a nice segue into attachments for cosplay. So I remade the original back piece. Again, the 3D printed piece was scratched and had chips into it. So I remade it out of EVA foam. I'm a huge supporter of using ginormous snap buttons for your attachments for everything. I use it for almost every single piece of armor I've ever put on my body. So basically what I do is I sew these are 25mm snap buttons. I sew 2 of the kind of, I don't want to call it a nipple, 2 of the nipple pieces onto very stiff felt. Then I cut them out and hot glue them onto the back of the armor piece. So in this case, it's the back piece of Ganyu. And then I take the non-nipple pieces, I sew them onto whatever the piece is going to be attached to. So in this case, it's her back cape. And that way I just snap them together and then it fits right on. I got this trick from my friend DV. Shout out DV if you're watching. I used 12 gauge aluminum wire and I stuffed the inside of each of the horns and just bent it. And then I weave the wire through the wefts of the wig and pin them in with a bobby pin. And that stays on my head for the entire day. I didn't pin them well actually when I went to Otakon, so that they were kind of bobbing everywhere. But for the most part, this is how I do any kind of like under wig, ear attachment, horn attachment. I just weave it through the wefts, pin it in, and it's pretty strong. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And as like a little bonus, you can add your own flair to these pieces too. Don't feel like you're strictly tied to whatever you purchase, right? You can add your own little zhuzh you'll take, and we're still in a pandemic. So I tried to make a matching face mask for this cosplay. Admittedly, I couldn't find the right colors to use for the kind of like checker print, for this kind of diamond print that she has all over her costume, but it worked enough. So that was pretty much my thought process in revitalizing this costume. Again, overall, the quality of Easy Cosplay's Ganyu costume was pretty good. And it was cool to make all these other pieces. And now also I have patterns from this that you can use as well. And of course, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to hit me up, DM me on Instagram, down below. If you have comments, I'll try my best to get to all of them. And I want to thank some of my Ko-fi supporters who made purchasing this cosplay and making this video even possible. I wouldn't have been able to do it without these individuals. So thanks again to Shining Moon, Innami, Papaya Uriah, Chris Smith, and 2 anonymous supporters for your donations towards this cosplay goal. If you want to check out what I have on my Ko-fi between patterns, cosplays, and my current goal, then the link is below. You should check it out. And you automatically get access to the Nugget Kingdom Discord server if you choose to make a donation and help support the channel and all of my artistry and nonsense, you know. So I'm trying to upload more frequently between shorts and long form videos. I might also start putting VODs from Twitch on there as well. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you can follow me there too to see things live, like our craft streams on Friday where I made the Ganyu pattern. And of course, thanks so much for watching. I always appreciate it. Have a nice day. Okay, bye.